So I figured before we get too far into this channel, I should explain why I'm here, who I am, and more importantly, why Pokemon. I think if a couple years ago you told me I'd be talking to a camera in my garage about Pokemon cards and vending, volunteering at a local card shop, becoming a Pokemon Professor, and getting way too invested in the competitive side of the trading card game, I would probably laugh at you. But truthfully, the last couple of years in this hobby have been one of the most fun journeys that I've ever had, and I want to be able to share it with you. So as I sort some bulk tonight, I want to go with you on why I came back to Pokemon and what I'm building. There'll be a couple things that I cover, but there'll be more down the road. And if you want to follow along with this journey, just click the like and subscribe button down below, and we'll have a blast together. Let's start with why this video is here. There's three things, truthfully, that I want to get out of this. I want to be able to explain how I came back to Pokemon. I also want to talk about what I've been doing in the hobby over the last year and what I want PokéMart Pulls to become. Because I don't want this just to be another hobby or another Pokemon channel. I want this to be a journey that we can share. I want to share the collecting and the playing, the vending, the wins, the mistakes, and hopefully have a lot of fun along the way as well. We'll start with where I started. Like a lot of people, growing up, Pokemon was a huge part of my childhood. I grew up with the original 151 games, the cards, the show. I had it all. And like a lot of people, life happened. I got older and other things became priorities over Pokemon. It kind of just faded into the background, but it never truly disappeared. Because then I grew up, got married, had kids, and with that, that's where this story starts to become full circle. Because eventually my son started getting interested in Pokemon. And suddenly I'm sitting there looking at Pokemon cards again. And I'm getting excited because he's excited. And he's seen the things that I saw as a kid. And we're connecting and we're opening packs and we're looking at cards. And we're talking about Pokemon and we're watching the cartoon, and it's the coolest thing ever. But the nostalgia turned into something bigger. I realized that I actually really missed this. And eventually I started having fun and found something that I could share with my kids. That was really the beginning of me coming back to the hobby. And if you've been in this hobby for even the shortest little bit, you know exactly what happened next. I went down the rabbit hole and I went hard. I started learning more about modern Pokemon cards. I started learning about the sets, the rarities, the pricing, the grading, the competitive play, and eventually looking at cards and thinking, there's a lot more to this than I remember. In fact, there's a lot more to this that you could do. You could be a collector, you could be a player, you could be a trader, you could be a vendor, you could be a parent just getting involved with your kids. Or if you're like me, you could apparently try to do it all at once. One of the coolest things that happened over this past year, though, was just wanting to get more involved in the community. And eventually, I started volunteering. I started helping out at a local game shop, just help organizing events for them and running stuff to get people set up and kind of bring some structure to what was going on the events and helping out there. But through that, I started realizing that I could do more as a professor and be certified and help and volunteer. So I decided to jump into the Professor program, became a Pokemon Professor, and that completely changed my perspective on the hobby. Because now I'm not just collecting cards or playing. I'm seeing how kids show up excited to play. I'm seeing how parents are getting involved with their kids. I'm helping other collectors and players understand the game and what the cards can do beyond just the cool artwork and collecting a full set. And I'm getting to be a part of the community instead of just watching it from the outside. The pulls are awesome, yes. The chase cards are awesome, but the people are what make the hobby special. And then I decided to try something else. After collecting for a while and starting to see my collection grow, I realized that maybe I should try vending. So about 2 months ago, I did my first show with a friend of mine, and then I did another one a couple weeks ago, and a third one back to back. And there's a huge difference between buying cards and trying to sell cards. When you're collecting, you're thinking, do I want this card? Is this gonna be good for my set? Is this gonna be good for my deck? How long am I gonna hold it or keep it? And do I like the artwork? But when you're vending, you start thinking, does somebody else want this card? Are they gonna pick it up? Are they gonna trade it? Is it gonna have value to me down the road? And suddenly you start caring about inventory as well. Pricing, displays, organization, what people are looking for, what sells, what doesn't sell. And then there's the actual experience of standing behind a table and talking to people all day and looking at their collection and understanding what they're looking for and helping them fill that chase or find that card to fit that perfect spot in their binder. And that can be really cool. Honestly, I loved it. Was it perfect? No. Did I learn a ridiculous amount? Absolutely. And that's actually what makes me excited about sharing the vending side, because I learned, I think, more about the cards and the community from vending and experimenting and understanding and talking with people almost as much as I did through the Professor program. I'm learning, I'm experimenting, and I'm finding out what works. And I want to be able to bring you guys along for that. I want to show you actually what it's like to prepare for a show, what I bring and how I organize my inventory, the tools I'm using, the skills I've developed. I want to be able to share what sells and what doesn't sell. And I'm hoping over time you guys get to watch that side of the journey with me grow as well when I get more comfortable and more prepared for it. And then there's probably the biggest evolution for me recently, and that's actually playing the game at a competitive level. As my son gets older, he's becoming more and more interested in the game, and he's wanting to become more and more competitive with it as well. Because now we're not just collecting cards, we're playing the game. And there's a lot to learn, whether it's building a new meta deck or diving into the recent NAICs and understanding what works and what doesn't, or understanding your sequencing, or seeing what the matching looks like, or prize mapping, or resource management, or however it may be. There's a wonderful experience of just sitting down across from somebody who clearly knows what they're doing while you're internally trying to figure out, okay, what can I do next? And that's part of the fun. You see, I'm still learning and I'm making mistakes and I'm getting better. And eventually I'd love for this channel to document that progression too. But showing what it's actually like to learn the game, compete, and improve, and hopefully doing some of that alongside my son as he gets older, that part means a lot to me. And that brings me full circle to what I want from this channel, what I envision PokéMart Pulls to become. PokéMart Pulls is documenting my journey through Pokémon TCG community. There's really two big goals. The first is build a channel. I want to grow this and I want to create something that people can actually enjoy watching. I want to build a community around the channel, and eventually I'd love for PokéMart Pulls to become a recognizable part of the Pokemon community. But the second goal is probably even more important. It's to create a fun place for the community. I want this channel to be somewhere you can just come and enjoy Pokemon content. No drama, no negativity, no garbage, just Pokemon. Whether you're a collector, a competitive player, a parent, a kid, a vendor, or somebody who just likes ripping packs and seeing what's on the inside, I want there to be something here for you. So, what are you actually gonna see when you log in to this channel? You'll see a lot of collecting. A lot of collecting. You'll see some opening, you'll see a vending journey, you're gonna see a little bit of the competitive TCG side, and you're gonna see my journey as a Pokemon Professor as I start to understand more of the game and expand on that. You'll probably see more and more of my son getting involved, and that's really where this whole thing started. I don't want to pretend I'm an expert at everything because I'm not. I'm learning still quite a bit. I'm building, I'm experimenting. Heck, I'm sitting in a garage right now. But I think that's actually what makes this so interesting, is because you're gonna get to watch the journey, not just the finished product. And if I zoom away and think about what ultimately this is to become, I want to build something around this hobby that my family can be involved in. I want to meet people, I want to support local card shops, I want to participate in the community, I want to vend, I want to play, I want to connect, and I want to learn. And I'm going to document the whole thing. So that's really the story here. I came back to Pokemon because of nostalgia. I stayed because of the community. And I'm here because I want to see this journey and where it can go. If you're interested in any of that, I'd love for you to come along for the ride. So, want to do me one last favor? Go ahead and subscribe to PokéMart Pulls. Come hang out with us in the comments. Tell me what you're collecting. What's your favorite Pokemon? What's your favorite set? What deck are you playing? How long have you been a professor? That's kind of the point. This isn't the story about somebody who's already made it, who's already got all the answers, but someone who's just getting started. So, welcome to PokéMart Pulls. Let's see where this goes.